Hi, everyone who's joining. Welcome to this Twitter space. Very excited. Just a few days ahead of our second OG mint. So we're in the countdown, and we just wanted to have our the Juanu, the developer of our smart contract, to answer any technical questions, and obviously we will answer any other questions you may have about the project. But really want to give props to the Infinite Machine tech team because our first mint really went down so smoothly. And as we all know, that's not always the case with NFT projects. But with this one, it really was so smooth. And there was different kind of complications, I would say, or like specific things that had to be programmed to this project, like the whitelist and the different types of whitelists and the time that the general public could join, and then the minting itself. But Juanu will be able to tell us all about that. Juan, if you want to come up as a speaker, we're waiting. Hopefully, Santi Siri, who is an advisor to the project and also the kind of tech lead, he'll be joining us. So hopefully he'll be joining soon. But yeah, for now, maybe Juanu, do you want to start and maybe give an overview of the contract itself and just like of the technical side of the Infinite Machine project?
Sure. Thanks, Cami. Hi, everyone. So, yeah, like Cami said, we had a pretty smooth first sale minting. To be honest, this was my first public sale for an NFT collection. I've been working on a couple of other projects and other smart contracts that have been published, but this was like my first public sale, and with a pretty specific behavior, right? Because there was some requirements from the producers were about the behavior of how we wanted the minting to go. At first, there were like some different ideas going back and forth about how the contract or the minting should go, and it was a pretty rough road at the end because I think we went with the multiple sales stages, right? Almost 1 week previous to the first sale. So it was a pretty vertiginous experience having to develop, testing everything and trying to make everything work for the specific date, right? There are a lot of people interested on this project, lots of people from the Ethereum community that actually want to see Kami's book become a movie. I'm included in that too. I think it's a great book. It explains the story behind Ethereum, and seeing it on a movie. Well, it's like it's actually something that we are all expecting. So I wouldn't want it. I didn't want. I was trying to make a contract or develop the contract for the minting to be as good, or at least to try to level with the quality of the book that Camila wrote. So yes.
Thank you so much.
So yeah, other than that, there are we could, if you want, we could go over, I don't know, maybe questions that people might have from the technical perspective. But other than that, it's just a smart contract, ERC 721, a smart contract with multiple sales stages, with limited supply on each stage. Um, I had to come up with a like a technique for doing this. I honestly haven't seen other mintings or smart contracts that do this. I'm not saying this is the first one or that others don't do it. I just haven't seen any. So I didn't have really like a guiding point in there. I had to go with my guts, my experience. I am an experienced developer. I've been developing for more than 20 years in different platforms, different languages. So I was pretty confident on that part. But yeah, I think it was on a on a tweet a couple of weeks ago that I posted when the NASA launched the James Webb Space Telescope. I felt when you see that kind of work put in with so much so, I almost compared it to launching a smart contract on mainnet because once you press the button, you do the launch, and it's gone. You don't. There's nothing else you can do. So it's like your heart really pumps fast, and yeah, I'm actually pretty glad to see that it's working so nicely. So yeah, that's. I think that's what I have to say for now.
Awesome. I love that comparison of launching a smart contract is like launching a rocket or a spaceship because it's right. Like once you press the button, the cards are on the table, the code is set, and that's all you can do. So it was nerve wracking for me, but I think it must have been like even more nerve wracking for you, Juano. But of course, like everything went extremely smoothly. So that was awesome. And just to give a bit of an overview of the sale itself. Um, so the way that it's structured is that we had the first OG mint in December, as you all know. Um, there we sold 2,100 NFTs for 0.08 ETH each. That was the most discounted price for our very early community. And we had a whitelist that we compiled from our community, from our Discord, our Twitter, from Defiant subscribers, and from those who had pre-ordered my book. And so those were the ones who joined the whitelist, and they had 1 day to mint before everyone else did, and a limit of I can't remember. I think it was 10 NFTs per wallet. All of that had to be programmed into the smart contract, and after 24 hours, all of the NFTs that were left were up for minting by the general public, and we ended up selling out the 2,100 NFTs in 28 hours. So they quickly sold out after we opened the sale for the general public. We will have this second OG mint this Sunday. So the idea of having this kind of staggered sale instead of just like selling the entire 10,000 collection, in this case 10,499 collection, and in case you don't know, that's after the EAP 1559 block number. So the ideas of having like sales in stages is for different reasons. One is because sometimes these sales happen and you only get one chance to participate, one chance to learn about the project, and it just like leaves a lot of people out. So we wanted to give ample opportunity for the entire Ethereum community to learn about this project and join it if they were interested. And we also wanted to give a chance to really, really reward and benefit our most loyal and earliest community members. So these first two OG sales, we wanted them to be at a very accessible or relatively accessible price, um, to really kind of benefit those of you who are with us from the beginning. So that's kind of the design of these two OG mints. And then later on, hopefully, I mean, pretty soon, but in a few weeks, we'll sell the rest of the collection to the general public at a higher price. So that's the reason of having these staggered sales, and it's not very common. So Juanu had to innovate to pull this off, and yeah, super happy in the way that it's working out. I think we are creating and cultivating this awesome community who really believes in this project for the right reasons. Hopefully, we're together here because we believe in decentralization. We are grateful for Ethereum, and we want to support a project that wants to tell the Ethereum story to the world. And it's kind of like a long-term project. A movie gets made in 2 years. It's not a quick kind of get rich scheme. Hopefully, everyone who participates in this project can benefit. But that's not the point of the project. It's not about flipping NFTs. It's about supporting something real. You're all supporting a Hollywood movie that is being made. It's something real, tangible, that will have concrete consequences, and hopefully make a concrete and a big impact in the world. So it's something that's very special, and that I think sets this project apart from all of the other NFT projects. So yeah, thank you all for joining us in this project, and yeah, we're here for any questions. I will open up the floor, I guess, now for any questions, or Juan, if you want to add anything. Yeah, of course, do so.
Sure.
And yeah, go ahead.
So just to make your point, like I've seen like these kind of communities. This is my first time participating. Well, I think it's maybe the second. I'm pretty active on the proof of humanity community, but it's like participating of these kind of projects where we are actually going to have a real, like you said, real tangible final product. It's like a dream come true, and it's not just the ones, the artists and us developers. It's everyone, right? The community. I had some of the humans on proof of humanity community reach to me and say, "Hey, I don't have too much money, but I want to put some funds on this project because I support it. I really want to see the movie come out, and it's that kind of final result will be really from the really impressive for the people who are inside this ecosystem of decentralization and blockchain, and also for the people who are outside, the ones who don't know what it is and the ones who know what it is but don't want to come in. They will see, people will see that it's something more like a natural, organic thing that is that can happen. So really interested in seeing the final product.
I think
Tessia.
Tessia wants to talk. Yeah, just go ahead and unmute, and yeah. Hey.
Yes. Hi, guys. I just wanted to say thank you so much for creating the space, Cami. I've known everything about you for so long. I'm also from Argentina, Buenos Aires, love. But I live in New York City now. I've been in the game for several years. And I went public on Twitter yesterday because I've been tired of hanging out with men on yachts. And I really wanted to get to know more, queens and baddies in the space. And so I made an executive decision with my team. And I've also been working on NFT projects on the side, and all the things. And I just really love what you guys are saying with the space of how important it is to create a community that's bringing everyone up, bringing the people that have been in the beginning with you. And it's not about it's not about the flipping, it's not about the quick money making. Hopefully everyone can benefit, but it's absolutely amazing, the strategy that is beneficial for all the community members long term. And I think I absolutely adore the vision and everything that you guys have done. So I just joined Twitter yesterday. I'd love to connect offline or we'll offer the space, but thank you everyone. I don't want to take up too much time. Thank you everyone for holding the space. Very excited about the projects, and best of luck to everyone.
Oh, that's awesome. Another Latina in crypto in New York. I would love to
Exacto.
meet up. I would
we
love
should
to meet
meet.
up.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm
Awesome.
in East Village.
Oh, cool. Okay, I'm down here in Brooklyn, so we can meet halfway.
Perfect. Perfecto.
Genial. Okay, that's really exciting. So that's a big part of the project, is kind of the Latin, the emerging market, emerging country aspect of it, and that's. And I'm sorry about the background noise. My dog Conga sometimes goes a little crazy, a bit too protective of me. But anyway, so the Latin emerging market aspect of this project to me is I don't know, one of the things that that excites me the most, and that I'm the most passionate about. So as you'll probably know, this project is the result of the collaboration of many different artists from all over the globe. The art of the project was made by 36 artists coming from Argentina, Venezuela, Cuba. There's Kenya, Indian artists. There's really kind of a huge, a broad representation of artists from all over the globe, from all genders, and we really wanted a lot of diversity, but especially to highlight and provide a platform for artists in emerging countries who don't always have the same network that artists in the US and in Europe have. And so the NFT boom last year was insane, and there was a lot of hype, and I don't think there was enough kind of attention given to artists in less developed countries. So I think if this project is able to become a platform for those artists, that would be a huge win in itself. Like besides the movie becoming a platform for emerging artists in emerging countries, is a big goal for this project, because in the end, like that's where crypto can make the biggest impact, helping empower people, individuals in countries that have centralized and repressive regimes. Crypto can be a hugely powerful tool for freedom, for artistic freedom, and also for financial freedom. And that's what NFTs are bringing to these artists. What's special about this project, and is unlike many other NFT projects, is that 22% of all sales, from primary sales like minting to secondary sales, goes to the artist perpetually. So hopefully these NFTs can become a kind of passive income for these 36 artists in emerging countries, where I'm glad it's here. and I'll ask her to come up to speak. But Gladys is based in Havana, Cuba. She's the one who curated all the different artists, and she knows how important NFTs are for. She knows firsthand for artists in Cuba, where selling NFTs in ETH can really make a huge impact in the livelihood of artists there. So that's a beautiful aspect of this project. Like, I couldn't be happier to be empowering artists this way and giving them a platform. So anyways, this is supposed to be a tech talk, and I always I always kind of go to this aspect of it because I really love it, so I can I can kind of like steer the conversation back to the like more technical aspects of it. But yeah, it's important to point out in case people in the spaces didn't know about this, which I think is like a beautiful side of the project. So I invited Gladys to speak in case she wants to tell us a bit about herself. Oh, now I don't see her. Oops, I don't know where she went. Maybe her connection was unstable. But anyways, I think that is a beautiful aspect of the project. Oh, and I see Santi is here. I'll invite Santi to speak. But yeah, and if anyone else has more questions, please raise your hand, and we'll invite you to the stage. I see Nacho is connecting. Hi, Nacho.
Hi, thank you very much for this opportunity to speak here. Sometimes I lost your connection, Camila, so maybe the question I answering was answered, or I don't know. I'm a film director, and I'm the first time I see this project on Twitter, I try to understand what was it about. So I want to ask about the movie itself. If there is a team working on the movie, or if there is a chance to get involved in that part of the project. I don't know. I understand the NFT part of the project, but I want to know about the movie.
Yeah.
Is it shooting right now? Talk about that, please. Thank you very much.
Yeah, sure. Of course. Okay, so the movie is based on The Infinite Machine, the book I wrote on the history of Ethereum. It's important to note that this movie is a feature-length dramatized film, so not a documentary, but like a Hollywood-type film. So there will be a cast of actors, there will be a script, there will be a director, and that makes it different from most of the other films being made about crypto. Like right now, there is an Ethereum documentary called The Infinite Garden, and that's different from this project. They're doing a documentary, and we are doing a dramatized feature film. I think that's a really exciting difference because my goal with Infinite Machine was to write this book in a way that it was fun and digestible and just like a good story to read by anyone. That they didn't have to have ever heard about Ethereum before. I really wanted this book to like get to the mainstream, and so hopefully this movie can do that, even like take that even further. And get kind of the story of crypto and decentralization, and the idea of this like alternative society where people can, where individuals can control their assets and their information, like all of this message. Hopefully, this movie can deliver that and can communicate that.
Great.
Right now, we are in the very early stages of production, so. I came on as executive producer, and so when we started the conversations on like how to fund the movie, that's where I kind of like we discussed this idea of like funding the movie with the Ethereum community, itself. Like
Mhm.
to me, it made sense to do it like the Ethereum movie with the Ethereum community. So that's why kind of this NFT project comes in. So right now we're just like raising funding, and from there the next step will be to partner with hopefully a very kind of top of the line US producer, because right now um, this project is being led by Versus Entertainment, which is a very like a great production studio based in Spain. They produce and distributed dozens of films. Like I guess like the most well-known one is Buried with Ryan Reynolds, but they produced a bunch of other films.
Great.
So right now, like they are leading the project, but the next step will be to partner with a US producer who can get us like really a like A-list type of cast, and next will come like the like writing the script and the cast and all of that. So I think the movie itself, like it's still like we're in the very early. We're early, I guess.
Of
um,
course.
we'll see it in like maybe like 2023 or so, like the final like product.
Thank you very much for your answer, and I will keep focusing on this because I'm very interested. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Good to hear.
So, Cami, I don't know if you can hear me. Maybe we can talk a little bit about since uh, we had the opportunity as of developers to join this discussion. I think Gianni brought the idea about discussing some of the doors that it opens the development on the blockchain, and for people who is either a developer or learning to code, what kind of opportunities are given not only for artists, right? It's also opportunities for uh, all types of different uh, things that people can do. In this case, coders. Um, so learning to code, it's known already to be one of the most requested jobs, but learning to code on the blockchain opens up huge opportunities. I think Santi could even speak more of this. He's been on the ecosystem for quite a long time. I know that. But in my case, I just want to say the opportunity of decentralized applications on a blockchain is not just about the money, which sometimes you don't make any, because sometimes you do it just for helping the community, but it's basically for the incentive or what incentives you can have for building this kind of tech. The incentive in this case could be economic, but can also be uh, a project that you want to see develop because you either like the project, just like the movie, or because it's a project that you know it could help other people, right? Also with this project, it helps artists empowering them. So it kind of opened it's a lot of possibilities, not only for developers or artists. There's tons of things since the ecosystem is pretty new. There's tons of things in terms of tons of expertise that could be exploited on this ecosystem. Some of them are still not found or understood, right? Um, yeah.
Right. That's the beauty of a permissionless system, right? Like just like artists can sell and share their art globally without asking any galleries or museums for permission. It's the same thing for developers, right? Developers can have like an open space to create and to build applications and go kind of as big as they want um, without having to get any I don't know, like without asking permission. You can just start developing, which as like creators, it's 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 incredible to be able to have that freedom, especially for developers in less connected areas who might not have the network to like have before built in fintech. Uh, you don't have to be in New York or San Francisco to build a DeFi protocol. You can do it out of anywhere. So that's a huge difference from TradFi, and it's why kind of I think we are kind of witnessing the future of uh, what will become finance. So yeah, anyone else have any questions about the project?
If anyone is interested, we can also go over the tech. If there are any questions about it, like something specific about the smart contract or the storage or whatever, we can answer that kind of questions too.
Maybe you can tell us about like where the images or like where the data is stored.
Sure. Yeah, actually, it's pretty interesting. So, besides the smart contract, the other work that had to be done was actually mixing all the work, right? All the art of the different artists. As you know, the white paper was defined as we got, it's about 10 visions, 10 different logos of the Ethereum logo from each of the 36 artists, which gave us a total of 360 logos, and also one frame from each artist. So the idea or the concept was basically, let's slice each of those 360 different logos into 4 pieces and mix them up and generate different combinations of those. So besides the smart contract, there was some work to be done there in processing those different images, generating them. And as you might imagine, it was not a small task, because besides the idea of having like a good distributed number of the different permutations of the images, there was the fact that the images are pretty big. So that, like, I believe some of them are 5 megabytes, 10 megabytes, but in total, the 10,000 different pieces, 10,499 different pieces that we generated are about 110 gigabytes. So that's actually a pretty big number for processing files, for storing files, and for uploading them. So, for example, right now we are challenging some of the different IPFS. We're storing the images on IPFS so that we can either pin them on our own nodes or spin them on cloud services that are offering IPFS pinning. But like these services that offer this spinning service, this spinning service are actually being challenged by the Eth.Movie, because this number of files are quite big for a single pinning service. So it's 10,500 files, 110 gigabytes of information. So it's not easy. And we are contacting, I think it's tomorrow, we are having a call with one of the head of business of one of these services to actually try to solve this, to allow us to store this information. This is not to worry anyone, because we are still able to store them on our own nodes. We have our own private nodes of IPFS, so the files will be available. But this is
Oh, Juan, it looks like you cut off, or at least I don't know if it cut off just for me, but I can't hear you right now. I think you cut off. But oh, there we go. Okay, Juan is connecting again. But Santi, great to see you up here. I'm glad you could finally connect.
Yes, hi everyone.
We're
I'm
back.
another
He's back. He's back.
I'm another victim of the COVID this week. So apparently
No.
you get super weak and have a tendency to sleep a lot, and yeah, it's been a bit rough for me.
Oh,
But
sorry about that.
anyway, I'm catching up with the conversation here. This is a fascinating project to me. I think that our hashtag shouldn't be "we're gonna make a movie." It should be "we're gonna win an Oscar," because this is Oscar material we
Exacto.
have right here. I think this is Ethereum is a generation-defining cultural movement. It's not just technology, so it's an incredibly exciting thing to be part of this project. Camila's book has been probably the single most recommended book I've been sharing with absolutely everyone that has been asking me about what should I read in order to learn about what's going on with crypto, and it's always the Infinite Machine for me. Um, and the book is so well written. You just dive into the context. What I love about it is that being myself an Argentine, it starts describing why this technology matters so much, describing a little bit of the economic landscape of how it is to live in Argentina. Cami was used to be a journalist for Bloomberg and cover Argentina back in the day, so she knows very well, how was reality, living in hyperinflation and living in a country like mine. And what is really, I just came back from Buenos Aires a couple of weeks ago. It's been the first time I visited the country after after the pandemic, after 2 years, and suddenly it felt like as if I accidentally traveled to the year 2034. I never seen Argentina, uh, like the adoption of crypto has gone beyond any expectation. Like absolutely everyone is mining crypto, trading, learning about the tools. Apparently, a lot of people took time during the pandemic to figure out what's going on with Web3, to figure out NFTs, to figure out a lot of the cool tech that has been emerging thanks to Ethereum. And since I've been there, actually with Vitalik, who was visiting the country for the first time, it was also for Vitalik the first time he visited a country where he had Mick Jagger status. Everyone recognized him on the streets. Everyone knew who Vitalik was. Everyone asked him for a selfie. Everyone asked him, even like people that you wouldn't imagine who approached him, asking him about when Ethereum 2.0 is going to launch. So the how impactful this technology has been in Latin America and specifically in Argentina is really mind blowing. I came back from there like suddenly, I live in Spain, I live in Madrid, and it feels like Madrid is 20 years behind Argentina right now. And the fact that a technology like this impacts a developing nation in such a profound way, and the youth and the younger generations in such a profound way, speaks greatly about the future that Ethereum has, and how it can shape up the world in the coming years. So I'm sure that this movie is gonna help. It's gonna be a pivotal moment where Vitalik will be even greater than Mick Jagger once the movie launches, and it's gonna help put Ethereum, in the radar of mainstream culture around the whole globe. The interest on making a movie like this is enormous. I think everyone in this room probably remembers the Social Network movie, which was very influential in the last decade. But the fact that we get to make a movie like this of this extraordinary book, using eating our own medicine, using our own technology for accelerating culture, it's mind blowing to me, and I'm looking forward. This is gonna be an incredible success. I'm holding my NFTs because I want to make sure I get to enjoy some of the perks once the movie happens, and I don't know who's gonna play Vitalik, but I'm definitely looking forward to be on the set or whatever and meet, see how the movie gets done, and to be able to contribute in a project like this is gonna be definitely something very, very special for the community as a whole. So um, thanks, Camila, for inviting us to be part of this. Thanks for thinking about this and building this way, using Ethereum's tools to create such an incredible piece of culture that's gonna happen with this project. And yeah, I cannot wait to see how this whole project evolves.
Santi, thank you so much for all your support with this project. What beautiful words! Really, like I was getting so excited listening to you talk about the movie and the potential impact it can have. It's yeah, it's weird for me to like, because like I wrote the book, so I don't know. It's like it's a very surreal moment for me to be kind of um, talking about my book becoming a movie and funding it with NFTs and just like how beautiful this project is. It's very kind of I still kind of can't believe that this is all happening, but I'm just so excited. Sadly, in Argentina, when you were with Vitalik, did you have a chance to tell him about the project? And I mean, uh, you were like super busy, and like I don't know if you had a chance to
Of
like,
course,
but
of
I'd love to
course.
kind of see what he said.
Well, yeah. Actually, when the project launched, I was, sitting right next to him, which
Oh
was
my God! Wow.
totally unexpected. I was like, "Hey, V, by the way, this is happening," and I think that Vitalik is his experience in Argentina was probably you know the first time he kind of had the sensation of becoming a celebrity himself.
Mm.
And it's he's a very shy guy. Vitalik is definitely very humble, very, he's a person that probably listens more than speaks. So he's definitely not seeking popularity that much. But in Argentina, we are all, people that like to show our affection. We like to, we're Latinos. We're like that. And when the project was launching, had my phone and was showing him, look, like we just launched this and we raised 150 ETH to get the movie about you being made. And we asked him like, who would you like playing your role in the movie? And to be honest, he seemed a little bit shy about it. He doesn't seem to have any preferences. Uh, I think we kind of agreed that if the guy from Mr. Robot
Yeah.
played him, was kind of like probably the best candidate because of he's an amazing actor and probably can play Vitalik very well.
Hmm.
But yeah, he's definitely very excited about the project. Seeing something like this happening. Uh, who knows, how Vitalik processes this, because his mind is all over the place with Ethereum. I think everywhere he goes, he hangs out with the Ethereum community over there, and he was, very, very excited to learn about the project, and looking forward to see how this whole thing evolves. I think he's probably the first person in disbelief about everything that's going on, and. In Argentina, we know he has such a celebrity status that even surprised us all. Like, I wasn't even expecting something like this. Like, for example, one day he went to a bar around 9:30 in the morning, and the bar opened at 10 a.m. So he decided to leave to find a different place, and the owner of the bar came out running and saying, "Hey, Vitalik, please come. I'll open up the
Wow.
bar for you." And he was kind of like surprised something like that happened to him, and little things like that happened to him all the time in Buenos Aires. He couldn't walk more than 2 or 3 blocks in the city without someone stopping him and asking him for a selfie. And there were some folks from the Ethereum Foundation there, and we were talking that probably moving forward, what happened to Vitalik in Argentina is going to be more commonplace all over the world, not just in Argentina. It happens that Argentina kind of accelerated in terms of adoption in crypto during the pandemic, and the combination of the pandemic with the bull market and high inflation and capital controls and subsidized energy, that whole combination led to, if you walk through the streets of Buenos Aires, you will find a lot of companies and startups advertising about crypto. Everyone is doing something with crypto. No one trusts the local currency. And it's this bottom-up adoption that we're seeing there, this is another thing that Vitalik said. Like in El Salvador, you have top-down adoption where you have the millennial president trying to push Bitcoin through everyone's throats, which is fine. But in Argentina, it's like bottom-up adoption. Like everyone is, trying and testing out and playing with these technologies in one way or another. And it was for Vitalik the first time that he experienced, I guess, a higher level of celebrity than he's used to. At least, he's someone that travels around the world. He lives like a digital nomad. And I guess like he must start preparing a little bit mentally as Ethereum grows over the next years to cope with the fact that he might become a global celebrity, and probably the movie is going to be a very pivotal moment in that regard, a very big cultural moment for him, and yeah, he's paying attention to the project. He's definitely paying attention and interested to see how this goes, but probably also a little bit in disbelief to how big his own persona and his project is becoming around the world.
It's amazing how this idea that came out of a 19-year-old Vitalik back in 2013 has grown into an entire infrastructure for like the Internet of Value. Like it's just so huge what he sparked that I cannot even kind of put myself in his shoes and try to kind of see what he's feeling. I mean, all this like DeFi, Web3, NFTs, like all of this is happening on Ethereum mostly, and that's the platform that he created. So he should. It's surprising to me that he's not a bigger celebrity and that he's not getting this kind of treatment everywhere and not just in Argentina. But I think if it hasn't happened because of like the boom of his innovation, I think like this movie will certainly help. Oh geez, sorry about conga. Will certainly help towards that. I think Eunice, you requested to talk, so yeah, go ahead.
Hey Santi.
Yo, what's up?
Yo, what's up, man? You're good. Good point.
Good. Surviving the Chinese virus.
Sorry for my English. I'm from French. I don't speak very good English.
No worries.
Très bien, très bien.
Thank you. You know Live Peer Token? LPT.
Yes, I know.
You know? What do you think about a project and team?
I'm probably not a specialist in the project, so I'm willing more to hear about the project more than to give my own opinion, because it's not a project that I'm particularly involved with personally. But I heard about it. I've been hearing about it over the last years.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Okay. So let's I think like this is a spaces for to talk about Ethereum and decentralization.
Yes.
And the movie and the NFT project and Infinite Machine.
Let's
so
stick
yeah,
to
let's
the topic.
Yeah.
Sorry?
No, I'm saying
I don't understand.
This is a spaces about the Infinite Machine NFT collection, movie and book. But anyways, Santi, I really I'd love to hear more about your experience
What
in
is
Argentina.
Eth.Movie?
Yeah, so Eth.Movie, Ethereum movie is refers to the movie that is being made out of the Infinite Machine, which is a book that I wrote about the history of Ethereum. It was published in 2020 by the HarperCollins publisher, and yeah, it tells the story about how Ethereum was founded, about how Vitalik came up with the idea and inspired a group of hackers and investors and marketers to create this new blockchain, and all the challenges they faced and how they succeeded in the end. So that's the Infinite Machine. And yeah, now it's being turned into a movie, and super exciting to be funding and producing this movie together with the Ethereum community, and using Ethereum technology. I think that's super special and exciting to me, to be doing the Ethereum story with Ethereum tech and with the Ethereum community. I think is really exciting. So yeah, I guess if anyone else has any more questions, we'd love to take them. But like I was saying, I really it's so cool to hear how crypto has developed in Argentina. Like Santi was saying, like my book starts in Argentina. I lived there for 4 years, and that's through living in the Argentine kind of economy and facing all those problems is that I understood why crypto mattered and wrote about it for Bloomberg. Like I was living with inflation and currency controls, and so when I heard, oh, like this is this uncensorable global digital currency, I was like, oh wow, like this is really important. And so that's kind of what turned me on to crypto. It was Argentina, and so back then when I was there, it was like there was a lively community, but it was still like very small, very niche. So super exciting to hear what you were saying, Santi, that now it's a lot more mainstream and widespread, and that like a bar owner recognizes Vitalik. That's so mind blowing. It's amazing to hear. I'd love to kind of hear more about like how exactly Argentines are using crypto, like for what kind of use cases.
So when I arrived to the Argentine airport, a friend of mine, I actually had to go straight to pick up Vitalik to meet with the former president of Argentina, Mauricio Macri, who invited us to his home, to learn about Vitalik in Argentina. And the fact that we had probably not just Macri, who might be the opposition leader in Argentina, but also the government and also like left-wing activists. Everyone wanted to meet him. Everyone from the political spectrum in Argentina wanted to learn about Ethereum, learn about Vitalik, learn about his ideas, hear his recommendations. And Argentina, probably like every single Western country, is extremely polarized right now. Not absolutely no one can meet with the two sides of the table. And the fact that Vitalik achieved that is like a political miracle. He met with Macri, he met with Larreta, who is likely to be the next president, maybe in a couple of years. He's the mayor of the city of Buenos Aires. He met with Martín Guzmán, the Minister of Economy, which is the most important figure managing the economy of the country, who is now under a very important negotiation with the IMF. He met with Juan Grabois, which is a very well-known extreme left-wing activist who might be probably in the complete opposite side of the spectrum to Mauricio Macri. But the fact that everyone put aside their ideological differences, the fact that everyone, this is bigger than, the petty differences of everyday politics, speaks very highly of, what Ethereum is achieving in society. And obviously this led to a shockwave in the Argentine media. If you turned on the TV during those days that Vitalik was in Argentina, almost every single TV show and newscast was speaking about this guy. Some of the news shows probably speaking with some knowledge about Vitalik. Most of the mainstream media probably saying, clueless things about this billionaire walking in Argentina, whatever. But the clear thing is that wow, suddenly like Vitalik is capturing the attention of the entire nation, and little stories like show what Argentina is becoming. Like the guy that picked me up on the airport to go and pick up Vitalik so we can visit the president. The guy who was driving the car, he was mining cryptocurrency big time. His main source of living was not definitely not driving the car. Was like mining Ethereum, mining Bitcoin, mining this, mining that. Because in Argentina we have subsidized energy, and relatively to international prices, mining is actually a pretty good deal. Right now, the country is going through some blackouts because we're going through, it's summer there and it's a heat wave. And so it's even though it doesn't have the best energy infrastructure as a nation, the prices are relatively cheap compared to international prices. So that enables anyone who's curious enough to grab a miner, grab a couple of GPUs, and start mining. And everyone is doing that. Everyone probably under 30 years old, probably the youth, most not or parents or grandparents, but the youth is really very much in contact with this technology, and it's been quite a surprise. Like when Vitalik realized that there was so much attention around him and that he was having kind of like a Hollywood celebrity status in Argentina. I remember on the second or third day of his trip, he told me, "Look, I don't want this to be like an exclusive trip for myself only. I see that there's a lot of attention out there, a lot of interest out there. I'd like to make a conference, and I like to, just make a conference so I can hang out with the Ethereum community and get to share some thoughts with Argentina and everyone in town." So I started talking with the government to find a suitable place for him to make a conference, and I started talking to some community members to help me out, with the arrangements of the conference, to do a live stream, to do the flyer, to find the proper time and place. We did all that in 3 or 4 hours since Vitalik told me to prepare the conference. We had the flyer ready. I sent the flyer to Vitalik, and it was like in 48 hours we had this incredible place for 1,000 people in Buenos Aires. And I asked Vitalik, do you give me the green light to tweet this? Are you okay? We're doing this on Tuesday. This is Sunday. We're doing this on Tuesday at 8 p.m. on this place called Usina del Arte, which is allows for 1,000 people. Are you okay with it? And the second he tells me he was okay with it, I tweeted the flyer with a link to an Eventbrite registration thing for the tickets, and in 3 minutes, on my clock, I'm not exaggerating. In 3 minutes, the entire event sold out. The entire event, all of the tickets. In 3 minutes, 1,000 people filled up the place, and in 2 days, when we held the event, it was a packed room. It was like the event, it went flawless. You can all look for the conference on YouTube. You'll find the entire conference over there. Vitalik in Buenos Aires, you'll probably find it. And at the end of it, everyone there was so happy, so thankful that they were able to hear him out for an hour and a half, to be able to meet him personally, to be able to tell him, how much, a lot of gifts, a lot of, support for him. Now, Vitalik is Russian. He's not the most. Russians are, very stoic with their emotions, but I could tell that he was definitely very surprised and very thankful for the love and support he had from the people in Argentina. And I'm sure this is, the beginning of something very, very big. It is starting to get big in Argentina. Like, that's my sensation. Um, when I live in Spain, and my sensation here living in Europe is that people probably here approach to crypto from a theoretical angle, from a economic curiosity, but not out of need. Here in Europe, the comfort of the euro, the stability, the security, doesn't push too much people to actually find the Ethereum as an alternative for survival. In Argentina, it is survival. Like, people don't trust their currency, people don't trust the banks. We have been through so many economic crises in our lifetime, and we are young. I'm 38 years old, and I have already seen a couple of terrible economic crises happening in Argentina, either a huge inflation, hyperinflation, or a huge unemployment, and savings getting stolen by the banks and the government. Like, we've seen it all. So we are an entire generation of people that distrust the government, distrust the banks in such a profound way, that led to this phenomena that, suddenly Argentina. I used to think that Buenos Aires was one of the top crypto capitals of the world, because all of the development that has been going on with Ethereum coming from Buenos Aires. A lot of very cool projects emerged from Buenos Aires. And there's a long list of projects I could mention, from Open Zeppelin to Hard Hat to Kleros, MakerDAO, Proof of Humanity, UBI, of course. I hate giving the names, because Decentraland, because it's really a long list, and I really don't want to miss anyone. But a lot of the innovation happening in Ethereum came from the developers. And I used to think, okay, Buenos Aires, from the developer perspective, is a top 10 city. But after being there a couple of weeks ago, I suddenly came to the conclusion that it's not a top 10 city. It's probably the city, the Ethereum city right now. And not only because of the development, but also because of the users. There's a lot of Web3 users that over the last year, they installed MetaMask, they started exploring with Ethereum, they started mining, and the kind of support and admiration that Vitalik provokes on people in town was enormous. So it's going to be really interesting to see. I think that what we've seen in Buenos Aires is likely going to start becoming the case in more places around the world, probably in more places in Latin America or in Southeast Asia or in Africa, in developing countries, where this technology becomes a lifesaver to a lot of people. And the fact that Vitalik lives like a digital nomad, traveling around the world, he has been living like that with a backpack that has 40 liters of his possessions, and that's all he has. And he has been living like that over the last 8 years, traveling around the world and discovering all these places, and suddenly, making quite an impact, like he did in Argentina. Like, in Argentina, he really left a profound mark, and inspired a lot of people, and gave a lot of optimism to a lot of people, especially to the youth. And as Vitalik travels around the world, I think that this is going to be more and more the case. Argentina might be there because we have a dead currency, but I'm sure that if he goes to Venezuela, or if he goes to some other places in Latin America that are facing similar economic challenges, he will probably discover the same thing, that people are really into this, and not because it's a theoretical curiosity or an interesting technological innovation, but because this is survival. This is complete. This is the alternative that more and more people are relying on in order to make to be able to afford their living, and to change their economic reality. So I'm very excited about the next decade, about this decade, the 20s, the roaring 20s. And, this is already 2022. We're starting to get into the middle of this decade, and it looks like it's going to be Ethereum's decade for sure. And yeah, I'm probably we need to also start figuring out ways of taking good care of Vitalik. He likes to travel like a standard, a regular citizen, but I think moving to the future, it's likely that he might need a little bit more security, a little bit more an entourage in order to make sure he's safe and and come into terms with the fact of becoming a global celebrity. But it's a consequence of how wildly successful Ethereum has become around the globe, and especially in countries like mine, where you just talk with people all around, and suddenly absolutely everyone is into crypto. I that got me by surprise, and I lived in Argentina my whole life, and I never expected like the country becoming uh, such being such in the vanguard of adoption in terms of this technology. And you, Cami, you captured this brilliantly in your book, maybe without knowing it, but maybe because of your experience working with Bloomberg and covering the crisis in Argentina. But you tell the story of Mariano Conti there, one of the core developers of MakerDAO, who started living his life using DAI as an alternative to the Argentine peso, and being able to find to escape the problems of inflation in Argentina. And in the Infinite Machine, you talk about this incipient movement of hackers that are finding an alternative to the crisis in Argentina, and you describe very well what's going on in Buenos Aires. But now it's even way more than what it was probably when you started writing this. And
no, it seems that way, that it really accelerated in the past couple of years. Like, I can't wait to go back and see this all for myself. Like, you're making me so nostalgic about Argentina. Like, I already miss it so much just because it's such a beautiful country, and Buenos Aires is like, I don't know, the best city. But now seeing, I can't wait to see how crypto has developed there and is gaining actual kind of real kind of grassroots adoption. It sounds amazing. It looks like we have to have our movie premiere in Buenos Aires. Like, that needs to be
yeah,
the city where the premiere happens. No, it's gonna be amazing. And
that
yeah,
would be amazing. I can help you with
yeah,
that for sure.
let's start planning that. Like, maybe we can time it together with DevCon in Buenos Aires, and like the movie premiere can be there at the same time, something like that. I think something like that would
We
be
might need
amazing.
to rent a stadium, and I'm honestly, I don't think I'm exaggerating. Like, we might need a
Oh my
stadium
god.
for 15,000 people or 20,000 people. Like, we might be able to get, we filled an entire theater for 1,000 people in 3 minutes. And I told Vitalik this, like, next time we might have to go to the Luna Park, which is a
Hmm.
very well known place for 20,000 people in Argentina, because it felt like we could actually fill the Luna Park or a huge place like that. So maybe we
Oh,
could
that's
do the movie
incredible.
premiere in a stadium, something like that.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing. I really can't wait. Um, and yeah, I can't wait, like you said earlier, like to see who's gonna play Vitalik. That's gonna be the next big headline. I'm sure, like, I don't know if he's going to enjoy being on the spot like that, but yeah, like, he deserves to be a huge celebrity for sure.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so yeah, I don't know if anyone else has questions about the project or the book. Somebody was asking in the Infinite Machine Discord, what made you make the project? Did you just wake up one day and say, I want to make an NFT movie? Um, with with everything kind of that I've done, it's been really gradual. Like, of course, like, the book started from covering crypto at Bloomberg. I thought about, what's the biggest story to tell that hasn't been told, and to me, the most important story was the story of Ethereum. There was no book on Ethereum back then in 2017 when I started thinking about the book. And so I pitched to write the story of Ethereum. I always wanted to write a story in kind of like the Michael Lewis style, like nonfiction, but that reads like a novel. So that is a very hard way to write, because you need to have all the facts, like in a nonfiction, like a history book, but you need enough detail that you can narrate it like a fiction book. So that meant that I had to do tons and tons of interviews and be there in person, traveling a lot, like going to all the hackathons, meeting all the people. And that was an incredible process. It really kind of helped me immerse myself in the Ethereum community and see it actually kind of where it was emerging and thriving. And of course, like one of the places was Buenos Aires, and also actually Tucumán. So the story that I start the book with is the story of this bank teller in Tucumán, in this like northern city in Argentina, who had lived through the bank run in 2002 in the bank. Like he was working in a bank all the time, and he had to face people, like bank clients, who wanted to take out their savings but couldn't, and he was the one to tell them, no, like I can't give you your money, because there was like a national decree that there was a limit to how much banks could give people, which is crazy. Like imagine having money in the bank and you're not able to take it, and at the same time your money is losing value. So anyway, so he is the start of the book, and so I traveled to Tucumán to meet this bank teller who had been through that amazing story. So that's kind of how the book came about, and then the movie. I was approached by Francisco, who is here in the space. Hola, Fran. And he told me, hey, there's this production studio that's interested in turning your book into a movie. And I was like, wow, that's incredible. That's really kind of, it's a dream come true for me to see the Infinite Machine being turned into a movie. So I went, we got on board and started with this project of making the Infinite Machine into a movie. And then as we were talking about, actually how to fund this movie, how to produce it, we came up with the idea of doing it together with the Ethereum community. And this was last year. So NFTs were really taking off as a vehicle for creating communities, and for funding. And so it was like a natural idea to have to help fund and produce the Infinite Machine movie with Ethereum NFTs. And so that's how it happened. Yeah, it's not like waking up and being like, oh yeah, I'm going to do an NFT movie. It was just like the natural kind of organic way that we all figured this is the way to produce the movie about Ethereum. It has to be using Ethereum technology, and it has to be together with the Ethereum community. So I'm really happy about the way that it's working. Hopefully, like my dream and the goal is to fund all of the movie with NFTs and with the Ethereum community. If we don't make the goal, obviously, we'll find other like funding mechanisms. Like the movie will get made, but the goal is to make it with the Ethereum community as much as possible. Yesterday, we announced that NFT holders will control a DAO. So part of the funds raised are going to a community treasury, which will seed a DAO. And this DAO will become an executive producer of the movie. So that means NFT holders help fund the movie, but they're also part of the movie production itself. Like NFT holders will have a say in how the movie is made, which is really exciting and I think unprecedented. Like I haven't heard of any other film taking this structure. So yeah, the idea is to really include the community and really kind of make this movie together. So that's why, we really are not kidding with our hashtag. We're all going to make a movie. We really all are, producing this thing together. So yeah, it's really It's really exciting, and we're just getting started. So thank you, everyone here for supporting the project, for being here early, and yeah, get ready for Sunday is the second OG Mint. So tell your friends. Uh, be ready to participate, because like all of the proceeds go to making this movie happen, and it also goes to the community treasury and to the artists um, making the art for these NFTs. So yeah, I think we can start wrapping up unless anyone else has any questions or something that they want to share. I think no. I think we're good. So yeah, thank you everyone so much. Thank you so much, Santi. Really inspiring and exciting to hear your experience with Vitalik in Buenos Aires, to hear kind of your experience in how crypto is gaining adoption there. Fascinating, super exciting. I will head to Buenos Aires as soon as I can. And again, like, thank you from like El Corazon for all your support in this project. Like, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it, and I feel so fortunate and grateful to have you on board this project. And thank you to Fran, who is here, Gladys, who has curated the artist. I see some of the artists here as well. Paolo, Vesper, I think Igor is here. I'm sorry if I'm missing more artists, but I'm sure there's a few. Thank you to all the artists present. And of course, thank you, Juanu, our star developer, who has made and programmed the smart contracts so perfectly to go so smoothly and without a hitch, with all the complexities that we talked about earlier. And yeah, thank you everyone. Thank you community for supporting us. And yeah, we're all gonna make a movie. Let's do it. All right.
Wait, real quick, I wanted to butt in. Thank you, Cami, for putting us in the space and holding this with your team. No one thanks you enough, and thank you, Santi, you too. Everything you said, it hit my corazon. Like, I was just in Buenos Aires también, and everything is true. That's why I got into the space so many years back. And yeah, Cami, we should meet halfway for coffee. I don't know if you have your DMs closed, but if you could follow me,
I'll follow you
message
back.
you.
Yes. Awesome.
I'll message you, and then we can meet for coffee and talk more. Everything you said was absolutely beautiful. And yeah, it's so good to see, fellow. I don't know if you like Boca or River, but
Boquita.
Oh, yeah, que sí, Boquita. There we go, Boquita.
We really did a lot of work to convince Vitalik so he becomes a Boca Juniors fan also.
Exacto. No, my grandfather played for Boca Juniors, so it's in my blood.
Oh my God,
that's super cool.
Yes, we can go to games together, guys. I'll take you. But yeah, it's a pleasure. Thank you, Santi. Thank you, Cami. Let's meet for coffee. Santi, I know you said Spain. Come to New York. We'll all grab coffee. And,
oh yeah, we should all go grab a drink. All right.
Cami,
thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
You are writing history. You wrote history, Cami. And now history is going to be a movie.
Thank
you.
She
did.
Thank you. I don't know. I can't believe it. This is all too surreal for me, but it's just amazing. Okay, thank you all for coming along to the ride. And yeah, continue supporting, sharing, tell your friends, tell everyone. All right, see you soon in the metaverse. Bye.
Bye, everyone.